Yeah, I think imposter syndrome is, I would think it's a feeling. So like when people they feel a little unworthy of perhaps the achievements that they already have, or like when somebody tells you, my idea is like if somebody tells you, oh, you're so good, but then when you hear it, inside be feeling, okay, but you don't feel that necessarily the same way. So I think that's what imposter syndrome is, at least to me, that my idea of it. Yeah.
Yes, I do. So I know that it's something to do with like the inability to feel like you're like adequate enough. And then especially when like um s- now that we are off schooling and things can get quite difficult sometimes, it's quite easy to get imposter syndrome.
It's kind of a feeling, man. It's not just I'm not sure if it's like a feeling or it's like a but I know it's like it's when the person doesn't feel like they belong in a specific space. Like they don't feel like they deserve to be there. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, yeah, I think
It's a feeling, it's a condition. I know that it's like especially like people who people who newly enter like the workforce are like especially susceptible to it because they're in like a new phase, and so they have this immediate expectations for themselves to be able to keep up with the um, rest of their like co-workers, even though their co-workers could have been there for like years, they have this expectation that they need to be just as good as them, and that's why they are like probably the most susceptible to like imposter syndrome. And I know that I have definitely had it like had that feeling where I didn't I felt like I shouldn't be there. I shouldn't like I got in this institution by luck, or I'm not qualified enough to do what I'm doing now, or to be not qualified enough to study what I study now. Yeah. Yeah. So far what I know about imposter syndrome.
Yes, somehow the imposter syndrome. I think it's when a person kind of like have self-doubt and believes that the quality of the work that they produce isn't of a good standard. Yeah, but in fact they actually are producing like quality work.
Yeah, I think I know what it's about. I mean, imposter syndrome is kind of when you feel like an imposter. I know that doesn't sound very nice, but basically it feels like you don't belong in certain scenarios that you're already in, and it makes you question your own self worth and whether or not you even deserve to be in these situations.
Right. I think I think it is fairly common. But the thing about it is that something that I also realized after this during this interview is that unless somebody really goes to think about it, perhaps it is not something that you would think that you have. Yeah, that's what I feel. But I think it is quite common among uni students, especially with so many stresses that we face on a day-to-day basis, expectations, be it from like family, be it from friends, from teachers or whatever. So I think it is fairly common also to have like imposter syndrome.
I would say around 20%.
I would say maybe 60%. Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Huh? Really?
it's close. It's close.
I'm not so sure, but I think I would suppose maybe it affects 50%.
I don't think I know, but guessing based on my very limited sample size with my social circle, I would say it's pretty common.
You're not wrong. Actually, about 50% of college students and 50% of people aged 25 to 30 have imposter syndrome.
Oh, wow, that's actually quite surprising.